Welcome back to Technology Behind Business. Well, many businesses today are panicking in the face of the digital revolution and throwing away perfectly good practices without really thinking things through. That's the view of futurist and strategist Anders Sorman-Nilsson. He's the author of a new book called Digilogue, a combination of digital and analogue. He says winning customers requires both kinds of experience. And he joins me right now from our Sydney CBD studios. Anders, welcome to the program today. Can you just explain for us first what you see as digital and what you see as analogue?
Well, digital really is the increasing amount of time we're now spending in the digital world via social networks, and it is the fact that we're online 24/7, 365, integrating via our mobile devices, hanging out on our phablets, and connecting increasingly in the cyber world. The analog, on the other hand, is the high touch, the face-to-face, and the personal touch that we all used to do in business so well.
So what you're saying now essentially is that many businesses are not really thinking about the right approach to how they cater for this onslaught of digitisation that's hitting them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think in that rush or in that digital disruption that so many businesses are feeling right now, too many start focusing too much on the shiny new penny of the digital world, but they kind of throw the analog baby away with the bathwater in the process.
Can you give an example of what you mean by that?
I think a perfect example is to compare and contrast Apple versus Dell. Now, I remember specifically in 2004 buying a Dell computer online through fabulous digital mass customization, right? And a week later, after mass customizing my Dell laptop, it arrived. But that sort of transaction for me was really devoid of any sort of heart. It had captured my mind in many ways, Dell's online mass customization, but it failed to also capture my heart in the long term. And while all the other major high-tech players went pure play online, Apple kind of took the contrarian approach and established fantastic concept stores where now you're greeted by a concierge at the door. You can go out and hang out with a genius in the Genius Bar. A very high-touch service that at the same time complements and integrates, balances with its great digital offering as well. They're truly going Digilogue, as it were.
So what do you make then of the pressure on retailers now, or traditional retailers, who are losing money or not doing as well compared to their online counterparts? Many people are saying to traditional retailers, get rid of a lot of your stores and just try and do as much online as you can. Is that the wrong approach?
I absolutely believe that is the wrong approach. It's not an either or. We've gone beyond, I think, the Shakespearean notion of to be or not to be. That's the question. It's not a black and white. It's rather a blended approach of clicks and bricks, going digital and analog. And already we're seeing cracks in the business models of the likes of the iconic that are currently bleeding with their pure play online approach. And you're seeing pure play online retailers such as Shoes of Prey establishing high touch shops in shop in DJs, for example. So it's a blended approach that is the key here.
In terms of other kind of analog transactions, I was reading your blog and you had an interesting comment around digital downloads versus vinyl records. You said no one remembers their first download, but vinyl is forever. What are vinyl sales doing now?
They're coming off a low base, but vinyl sales both in the US and in Australia are up 20% year on year for the last few years. And I mean, I think this is a fantastic example with the likes of the rise of farmers markets, for example, or even the rise of microbrewery, back to this sort of personal, local, province sort of approach to business where it is about the high touch and the real analog heart as well.
You've also mentioned a couple of other companies, Kodak, Nokia and the Yellow Pages, you say, have been hit by disruption. Many people would say they haven't digitized fast enough. Isn't that correct?
It is an example of companies who are not adaptive. I truly believe that adaptive companies don't go either down one path or the other path. They truly start combining both the digital world and the analog world. Adaptation essentially means innovating, and innovating can be doing those things that you used to do in the analog world so well and amplifying them via the digital world. For example, telling your brand's story, its history, via the digital world. I mean, the inspiration for this book is from my old mum's menswear business in Stockholm, Sweden, an old bricks and mortar store, now 96 years of age. She's the third generation owner-manager of this store. And nowadays, people are walking into the store, scanning barcodes, hanging out with her tailors with their old traditional measuring tapes, and then they write down their measurements and go and buy the items online instead. And I mean, this is the kind of digital disruption that so many Aussie retailers are feeling right now as well. And the key thing is not to choose. My mum, just like so many Aussie retailers, need to go clicks and bricks. They need to go Digilogue. Because I think what we're seeing with consumers right now is that increasingly our rational minds are going digital or becoming digitized. We're making rational consumer decisions increasingly online. We do our due diligence digitally. But people still want to come in and hang out with an expert in the store. And this is the reason why 90% of retail is still in the analog world.
Well, you do talk about connecting with customers and forging bonds of loyalty, but don't most people who shop online, they tend to be very price conscious. So by nature, by definition, they're going to be less loyal anyway, unless it's to retailers that offer that low price. And the lowest price retailers tend to be low touch, don't they?
The thing here, though, is that digital can be fantastic for attracting new prospects, and that's why the iSelects and the health.com.au that was mentioned before and the internet portals can be a fantastic way to actually showcase your wares, making sure that you search engine optimize your content and making sure that new prospects can find you and make a rational choice in the digital world, whether they then want to go out and hang out with you in the analog world as well. So this actually offers a lot of opportunity. And I also think that the analog world, the face-to-face world, is one where you can build lasting bonds of loyalty because analog retains. If digital attracts, analog can retain. It's harder to abandon someone in business that you truly like doing business with.
So capture the heart and minds through both kinds of experiences. Anders, thanks for those insights today.
Thank you.